Welcome to the Essential Tax Podcast with your host, Mishkin Santa. In each episode, we'll take the complex world of tax, all the jargon, acronyms, and stuff that make your eyes glaze over, and explain it in an impactful way to understand the complex and unknown areas. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and on our website, thewolfgroup.com. Now, here's the host of Essential Tax Podcast, Mishkin Santa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Today's going to be a mini podcast, and we're going to talk about amended individual income tax returns. Before I get into what an amended return is for individuals, let's just briefly talk about what is an individual income tax return. So if I'm a tax resident of the United States, I'm going to file Form 1040. If I'm a non-resident of the United States, I'm going to file Form 1040-NR, okay? Now, if for some reason I made a mistake or I didn't put something on the return and I haven't been audited by the IRS or sent a notice saying, hey, we got you, we want you to deal with an issue, you can voluntarily, there's no rule that says you have to, but you can voluntarily amend the tax return by filing Form 1040X. And a couple of years back, so prior to a couple of years back, you had to, when you did an amended return on the Form 1040X, you had to mail that into the IRS. And recently, they started allowing the returns to be electronically filed, but they only let you do a couple of years back. So I think right now, I think I can amend an e-file tax year, maybe 2022, 2023, and 2024, but I can't do 2021. Now, what throws a lot of people off and what a lot of people don't really get is that when you e-file an amended tax return, it's not like the IRS is going to get a tax return in the electronic format it would get in, say, a 1040 or a 1040-NR if you e-filed that return. In fact, what the IRS is going to get is just a PDF paper copy of the tax return that they're going to have to manually enter into the system. So the only thing that e-filing an amended return does at this point in time is it puts you in the queue for IRS processing a lot faster than, say, mailing the tax return in, because there's a time drag from when you mail the tax return in to when the IRS picks it up, they look at it, they process it, etc. If you go to the IRS website, where's my amended return, and I'll link that in the show notes, the IRS will tell you that they believe that they process all amended returns, regardless of whether they're paper filed or electronically filed, in 8 to 12 weeks. So 2 to 3 months is their quote unquote processing time. And there's a way to check the amended return status that they give you on the link that I'm going to share in the show notes. Obviously, you can go into your IRS online account, which I would highly recommend everyone does, especially if you're filing an amended return. It's a great way to check on the processing of the amended return. You basically will go look at your IRS account transcript, and they update the transcript every Monday. That's when the change comes through. They won't really update it at any point in time otherwise. So I always tell my clients, go check the transcript on Monday, see if it's been updated for whatever changes. And if it has, great. If not, then go back the following Monday. But one big thing that I want you to know is that there was, and I'm going to date this podcast, I'm doing this on June 12th, 2025. On June 10th, 2025, there was a TIGTA report, which is the government agency that oversees the IRS, that kind of critiques how they're doing. And the goal for the IRS was to process, for 2024, I believe, was to process amended tax returns in less than 45 days. The IRS did not meet that goal. In fact, 64% of amended returns are, still not completed within the 64-day timeline. And it's taking a lot longer, than the IRS estimates on their website and both their internal goals. In fact, when I tell people, when people ask, how long is it going to take, Mish? I normally say, 6 to 8 months is generally what we see for the amended return processing. The last little nugget that I'm going to leave you with is that there are these deferred resignation programs that were implemented at the beginning of 2025. And it was just recently announced that about 1,000 employees that work on amended return processing for the IRS have accepted the deferred resignation, which is, it's deferred, meaning they were waiting until after tax season. So we're now in June. So those people are about to be released from service from the IRS, meaning that the timeline for processing amended returns will probably slow down even more. So keep that in mind when you're doing an amended return. Keep in mind the processing time. Be patient. It's like a 10-round boxing match. If you pull out after the first or second round, you probably won't get the result you want. You make sure you go all 10 rounds and just be patient. Good things come to those that wait. Thank you.